I've been doing far more consultations about Japan of late than I have about promissory notes, but I still help people with promissory notes. And in fact, I say to people when they're planning a trip to Japan, would you like to do a self-liquidating loan before you go to Japan of tens of thousands of pounds? It will help you with your trip to Japan and nobody loses anything. As long as you just expand the currency supply out of thin air, those currency units would have been created out of thin air and added to the currency supply anyway. So nobody loses anything. The currency supply of the world is expanding at all times. But why is this such an interest in people leaving the West and really going to the East? The West seems to be going down and down and down, and the East is rising. Let's talk about some examples. The cost of living in the West is getting out of control. The cost of housing. Interest rates are going up. Your mortgage payments are going up. Rents are going up. Well, I mean, some say rents are going down in certain areas, but the rents are astronomical in the West. Cost of food, like good quality food. Now, I can compare them both. When I came back from Japan, like good quality steak is my favorite food, and fish, good quality sushi. The prices are astounding, the difference. When you come back to the UK and you order good Wagyu or Kobe beef or some really good quality steak, I just couldn't believe the prices in the UK when I came back from Japan compared to what I was just paying in Japan. And this is a lot to do with the yen is falling. And some people say, oh, Japan is finished, Japan is over, the yen is falling. No, this is really good for Japan. Do you not understand? It's a race to the bottom. Whoever can depreciate the currency the most is winning. It's a race to the bottom. America's saying that's unfair, and they're trying to depreciate the dollar. And the weaker the currency, the better the country's doing, the cheaper things are. Japan is winning the race to the bottom. All currencies are like skydivers jumping out of a plane. Some can fall slower than they're all falling against real things, against food, commodities, gold, silver, oil. They're all falling against these things. But whoever falls the fastest is winning. It's a race to the bottom. Japan is winning the race. Japan is falling faster than the others, so they are winning. What that means is if you go to Japan with pounds sterling, for example, or euros or dollars or any of these other currencies, you go where you're treated the best, and you are treated so well in Japan. I'll talk about the reasons why this is. Comparing other countries, there used to be loads of men and Westerners would go to Thailand, Vietnam, Philippines, and then you've got the Cambodia, and then there's the developed high quality countries like Singapore and Malaysia and Kuala Lumpur. So there's a scale. At the very bottom of the scale, you could go and live in slum conditions in the Philippines and Manila or somewhere like that, or Vietnam. There's all these countries, they have slum conditions. That is a place where your pound will go the furthest. Very, very, very cheap living. But the conditions, the sanitary conditions, the hygiene, you'll probably get ill. It's hard to get food and water that doesn't give you a bad stomach. Very poor healthcare. But that is the bottom of the scale where your pound goes the furthest. And you come up a little bit, you can get like a cheaper, well, a little bit nicer place to live, accommodation, but still you're going to high chance of getting a bad upset stomach with food, water, healthcare, sanitation, hygiene. And then let's go to the very top of the scale. Countries like the fully developed, wealthy countries, your pound doesn't go very far. It's very, very expensive to buy anything. But of course, you've got very good infrastructure, good healthcare, very good hygiene, sanitary. Now, Japan is the best of both worlds. It is the very best when it comes to the infrastructure, the hygiene, the cleanliness, the low crime levels, and you've got the advantages of the really poor hygiene places where your currency goes very far. Japan is the best of both worlds because the yen has fallen so much. You've got very, very, very good infrastructure, quality of life, low crime, trustworthiness, a calmness. We were talking about how you feel that calm, relaxed peace. It's very peaceful, even though it's exciting and there's so much to do. But the way you don't get ripped off, you don't have to worry so much about crime, pickpockets, things. There are those things there, but very, very low levels. You do get black companies and companies they call it that you can't trust, but they're very low compared to the West. You can trust you're dealing with anybody. They're more trustworthy. Things are done properly. And there's stories you can leave your phone on the table when you go to the toilet. It's still there when you come back, You can't do that in the West. The West is going down the toilet. The cost of living crisis, the cost of living. So accommodation, food, clothes, transport, entertainment, everything. In the West, it is getting ridiculous. In the East, you can go and have a great time, like in Japan, the Far East now. You can go and treat all your friends to a night out and you can pay for everything. It's amazing how cheap it is. The yen goes very, very, very far. Sorry, the pound goes very far in yen. Everything you're used to buying is at least half price in Japan, but probably more like a quarter, like 25% of the price of what you're used to paying. Pretty much everything. You're going out for a night out, you go for drinking. Alcohol is so cheap in Japan. Food, a good quality, high quality food in Japan. When you look at these videos walking around Shinjuku in Tokyo, how many obese people do you see? Pretty much zero. There's pretty much zero obesity in Japan. You do that in the West, much higher percentage of obese people, unhealthy people. It's the food. That's what it's all about. It's the food and lifestyle. It's good quality food in Japan. People are more healthy in Japan and better infrastructure, better healthcare, better sanitation, better hygiene. The water's better. Everything's better in Japan. This is why I'm getting much more interest in people want to do a consultation with me, someone who's experienced 20 years in Japan now. I've been a couple of decades now living in both Japan and the West. I can compare them both. And I will continue to do this. I will continue to spend it. I don't necessarily put a percentage on it at 50-50. It could be 70-30, something like that. But I'm going to spend some of my time in the Far East in Japan and some of the time in the UK. And this is what you can too. You don't have to completely move to Japan, never to return. No, in fact, we don't suggest that at all. You can choose to do a 90-day visa, which is dead easy. It's automatic, really. You get 3 months in Japan, automatic to start with. You might not want it. You might want to do 1 month or 2 months, whatever you like. Or you could do up to 2 years. I can help you get a J-Find visa, F-I-N-D, J-Find visa for up to 2 years. You might look at the requirements and think, I can't get that. You can get it. We are helping people get it. You can get up to a 2-year visa if you like. But many people find 90 days at a time is fine. And then come back to the UK and then do another 90 days. You can get very cheap flights. This is what I'm helping people with. You're not going to find these on Skyscanner and Cheap Flights UK and all these other ones. You will not find the ones we're talking about. There's 3 primary Chinese airlines. The way things are, you can get about £300, well, 300 and something. Total price is like 360, 380, sometimes 340, but it's usually in the 300s bracket. London to Tokyo, and you could have a 90-day return. That is the return flight. So it's like £180 or something like that each way, something like that. It fluctuates. Now, the catch is it's got to be at the least popular times. Can't be in school holidays or anything like that. And it's very unusual times. You might have to leave in the middle of the night or early hours of the morning to get the very cheap flights. And there's a long stopover in Shanghai, which some people like because you can get up to a 24-hour visa in Shanghai. So you can leave the airport, experience Shanghai a little bit, which is a wonderful thing to do. It's very different from Tokyo. Different culture. And you might have like a 12 or 16 or 18-hour stopover to wait in Shanghai. It might be different to that because the flights are often delayed or there's change somewhere. But you could... These cheap flights I'm talking about, it's not a direct flight. You have to spend a bit of time in Shanghai waiting for your next connecting flight, which I don't mind. You can get a 24-hour visa, experience Shanghai for a small amount of time, and then get your next flight to Shanghai to Tokyo. These are very, very cheap flights. £300 return, 300 and something pound. I can help you get it. It's not easy, but it's like anything else in life. It's easy when you know how. All the things I'm helping people with when they do a consultation with me about Japan, it's easy when you know how. You need to speak to someone who's got experience. And many times we become friends. If you do a consultation with me, you can join my community. I'm building a community just outside Tokyo for people who get free homes as a holiday home, a second home, or a bug out retreat, a place you go to occasionally. You can get it for free. So the first step is I will help you get the cheap flight. If you really don't want to do this, because it's quite a long, drawn-out affair with a long wait in Shanghai to get the cheap flights. If you want to spend twice that, about £600, you can get a direct flight, London to Tokyo, and you waste less time. But I don't think it's wasted time. I love travel. But £600, you can get a direct flight, London to Tokyo, or 300 and something if you don't mind a bit of a stopover in Shanghai. So that's the first thing. You'll get your flight, your return flight booked. I'd say the first time you go to Japan, just do up to 3 months. Maybe even do 1 month or even 2 weeks, whatever you can get time off work. Now, here's the thing. You need to plan an income. Now, I found out recently, some of my people I've been helping, they get some kind of universal credit in the UK, or I think it's called PIP, is it? Personal Independence Payments, or disability living allowance someone was getting. If you're getting some kind of an income in the UK where you can take 3 months off, you don't need to go to appointments or whatever, or time them between your appointments or whatever, you can. Yeah, you can. You could go to Japan, and as long as you've got an income, whatever your income is now, if you're working now, can you either take some time off, take a holiday, or can you take early retirement? Can you have a golden handshake and leave? Can you do that? My channel's called Level 50 Prepper. I'm in my 50s now. I'm working on taking early retirement and retiring to the East. Can you think of something like that? Or can you be a digital nomad? I'm going to do semi-retirement. I'm going to continue to do consultations, helping people move to Japan and helping people with promissory notes and the monetary system and silver and copper. Can you teach something like that? What is your skills? Can you teach English? You can teach English online and earn money in pounds, which goes a very long way in Japan. Or have you got another skill? Can you be a consultant? Can you be a personal coach? Can you do consultations? Or can you do some kind of digital nomad where you can just work from a laptop anywhere in the world? You'll need some kind of an income to move to Japan. Some people are lucky, they've got some property they could rent out or a business with income. But you need to think about that. So you've got an income sorted out, and it doesn't need to be much. It could be something that is very hard. You're almost in poverty in the UK. Well, you would be living a very good life in Japan with that same amount of pounds, because it goes so much further. Everything's at least half price, maybe 25% of the price in Japan of what you think, and accommodation is free. So these are things to consider. Go where you're treated best. A lot of people they call them passport bros or passport cis. You move where you're treated the best. Some people are called nomad capitalists, where you go where you're treated best. The West is going down the toilet, the East is rising. Can you consider going to the East as a bug out location, as a second home? So say you want to give it a try and you want a 90-day visa or the 2-year J-Find visa, which you can extend for another 2 years. I can help you with that. Now you get to Tokyo. Say we're flying from London to Tokyo, stop over in Shanghai, and then you get to Tokyo Airport. It's Narita Airport in Tokyo. Now you can get the train. You can go right into Tokyo and spend a few days there if you like. You can get very cheap accommodation. I would teach you to get the Gatsu Club, the internet cafe. Now, these are like 1,000 yen for a night package, or 1,200 yen. It's like £5 for a night, where you've got a nice comfortable place to sleep. You've got a computer, internet, and you've got free food there. There's like unlimited noodles, and it's cheap food, but you've got your drinks machine there, unlimited drinks and little bits of, and then there's other food you can pay for if you want. You can have room service, and there's toilet showers there, place to lock up your bag when you're going out. You want to lock up your case and things, and you go in around the city, and you come and get it later. So that's cheap accommodation in Tokyo. I can help you arrange that, places where you can get that. Or you can go for a capsule hotel. Don't go for the other hotels. They're just not as good value. I'm still very, very cheap compared to other countries. But I teach you how to get the very cheapest accommodation while you're looking for your Akiya. Akiya is the word for abandoned home. Now, you're not going to find abandoned homes right in the high population areas like Tokyo itself. Demand is very high for property. Everyone's moving to the city for work, for lifestyle. I recommend you live just outside the city. The place where we are building a community of many foreigners from all over the world, it's called Atami. It's 45 minutes away from the middle of Tokyo on a fast train, but it's only like half an hour away from the outskirts of Tokyo, biggest mega city in the world, Tokyo. And it's just outside, which is a really nice location. And there is an abundance of abandoned houses. Absolutely abandoned. In the 80s and the 90s, Japan went through such an economic boom. It was an amazing miracle, a Japanese boom where there's incredible wealth in Japan. And a lot of people with average jobs, salarymen, normal people with just normal jobs, had an abundance of wealth. They built lots of second homes just outside Tokyo and other places like that. Holiday homes, second homes. That was in the 80s mainly. Most of those men were probably in their middle age in the 80s. Now, 2026, they are very old or might have died already. These homes are just getting abandoned. And these are fully serviced accommodation. They've got everything you need in there. You know, there's the kitchen, the furniture. It's like an Airbnb. Have you ever been to a fully serviced accommodation Airbnb? Everything's there. All the cutlery, all the utensils, everything's there. Pots, pans, cook, it's all set up. It's designed to be left alone for a while, and then you go and stay there occasionally. Now, when this old person dies, his next of kin has the option of inheriting it. It's not automatic. They will be contacted, they'll get a letter or a phone call. Your elderly relative, maybe your father, your uncle, or something, your grandfather, they have died. The next of kin, they get asked the question, would you like to inherit it? And they said, what is required? What is required is they have to pay inheritance tax, which is a very high percentage of the proposed value of that property, which is very high. They just have to come up with this. Have they got the savings to come up with like a couple of million yen to pay the inheritance tax? And then they are liable for ongoing land tax, which is also prohibitively high. And often the old person, when they might have been senile dementia or something before they died, they didn't pay land tax for a little while. There's often a back payment. It could be quite a large back payment of land tax and your ongoing land tax. This is the reason the next of kin choose not to inherit it often, many times. And the next in line for next of kin or the next one, they all get offered. No, none of them. They haven't got the funds to come up with this couple of million yen to pay the inheritance tax and land tax. And they don't want this property. You can't really sell it for much. There's so many abandoned homes. This home then becomes abandoned. Now, there's a lot to this. It's not so simple as many people think. You have to check land registry. Say you find a house. Like I've shown people these homes all around Atami. There's loads up the mountain. We drive around the mountain roads looking for abandoned homes. And we find one you like, this place is amazing. I remember this one place, it looked great. It was really well designed, beautiful home. We're looking through the windows, look, and we get the address of it. There's a sign at the front with the address. I do a search using AI now, and it costs a bit. It's not free, but you can do, it's a couple hundred yen, like 50p. You can do a search for land registry to find out the owner's name, whoever is on land registry, and you find out the date when they were registered as the owner of this property. Then you can do a search on the database of this person's name and that address. Like say Mr. Takashi, Hiro Takashi, and this 123, the address, you put the address in, Takano da. And then I will find out that person deceased 2024, something like that. Now, if it's been a fair bit of time, not if it's recently, if he died this year, no, you have to wait. It's not abandoned yet. It can take 12, 18 months for someone to choose if they want to inherit it or not. If it's been longer than that, if it was 2024 and it's now 2026, it's a pretty safe bet to say that the next of kin, all of them in line, have chosen not to inherit it. That means he is still on land registry. He's been the one on land registry for decades. No one has chosen to inherit it. This house has now been abandoned. That person is definitely deceased for 18 months, 2 years. No one has inherited it. Now the owner of this house is basically the government or the city. and it goes on an IKEA list. And there are long, long, long lists of IKEA. There's tens of millions of them all over Japan. And this amount of abandoned homes is increasing by roughly 1 million homes every year are becoming IKEA. So the owner of it is nobody. It's abandoned. You could say it's like in Britain, we'd say it's crown property. It's the government, the royalty. I don't know. It could be the emperor owns it. In Japan, it's the local city owns it. It is abandoned. Now, there is a law in Japan that is, if you can prove you have occupied one of these homes for 10 years, and sometimes it might be 20 if there's something unusual, between 10 to 20 years, you can then claim it as your own. So you have to go and occupy it for 10 years minimum. That means you have to move in, prove you've moved in, and you are a squatter. As we think of it in the West, you are squatting there. You've moved in. Now we say don't do any damage when you break in. This is all part of the service. If you pay me, first do a couple of consultations. We become friends. You talk to other people in my community. If you want, I can fly over with you and do a IKEA tour. We do a tour, maybe a couple of different people at the same time. We all go together in my car. I will show you around homes. And all part of the service, you choose your home. I'll do all the searches and say, now it's your choice. This place is abandoned. This is the last owner. He has died. He's the last one on land registry. No one's inherited it. Your choice now. And you say, yeah, if they want to go ahead, right, we will get you in there. Me and my son are quite good at lock picking. We can get into the place without doing any damage, or using my bit of plastic technique, I can get in through one of the windows or the doors, get in there. Now, many times, in fact, most of the times, we found a set of keys inside, or 2 sets of keys, the back door and the front door. If not, change the locks. But the chances are we will find sets of keys for the front and back door. We can open up, get some more keys cut. It's very cheap to go into, you can get some keys cut very cheaply. You've got a couple of sets of keys now. You can leave some hidden somewhere outside when you lock up if you want, when you leave it. Clean the place top to bottom. Prove that you have started, say from, February 2026, you have started your 10 years occupying the place. You've started it off now. I say do not go and claim it as your own after 10 or 20 years, because then you have to start paying land tax and all the responsibilities, and it's not really worth much. There's tens of millions of empty homes. Property is so cheap in Japan. So just have the plan that if anyone asks, yes, you're rescuing this home from going to ruin, like all the other IKEA just go to ruin, rack and ruin. You're rescuing it, doing a good thing for Japan, doing a good thing for planet Earth. You're liberating this house from going to rack and ruin, to waste. And you could tell people after 10 years, my plan is to claim it as my own. After 10 years, you can decide whether you want to or not. But I say, if you've been living there for 10 years, why rock the boat? Why go and claim it as your own and have all these obligations? Why not just carry on living there? And the rule is it's between 10 and 20 years. So if anyone asks, no, after 10 years, it's 20 years in this case, I'm going to be squatting here for 20 years. That's a long time. If you've been occupying it and going there for holidays for 20 years, you can do it for another 20 years after that. You don't have to rock the boat. Do you turn on electricity and utilities? No, you do not. There's costs involved with that. And then if you're not there for much of the year, you've got to pay standing charge. So these days, the technology's got so good, you can go into Yamada Denki and Big Camera, some of the big, massive stores, electronic stores. And I know the best solar panels you can buy. They're very cheap. These lightweight fold-out solar panels. I'd say go for about 2 or 3 or even 4 kilowatt of solar panels. They come in these flat pack boxes. You fold them out. Very lightweight, flat pack. You can take them to your abandoned home. Get up on the roof. You usually find ladders around it, or if you can get out from a skylight or something, fix them all to the roof. We screw them in place, or fix them in place somehow. There's lots of ways to do this depending on the roof. And you want one wire, one cable from the last one. You connect all the solar panels together. Make it in a way that they won't blow off in a strong storm. South facing, one cable comes in through the skylight, or drill a hole somewhere in the fascia board somewhere. One cable comes into the house into one battery pack in the loft or near the roof. These battery packs on wheels, You have the one up there that's charging from the solar panels, and you swap it around. You bring that one down to the kitchen, and the one that was in the kitchen running your fridge and microwave and cooker and all these things, you bring that up and plug that into the solar panels. And you have several of these battery banks all around. You have one in the kitchen, one in the living room, one in the bedroom, a couple of spare for running the washing machine, things like that. And by the way, these homes that you'll be choosing are full up of everything you need. Washing machine, fridge, all the things you need. It's a fully serviced accommodation. It's just been abandoned. And if any of them, say your washing machine breaks, your fridge freezer breaks, we go scavenging. There are so many abandoned homes in Japan, tens of millions of homes that are full up. The population of Japan is falling by 1 million people every year. You can go scavenging empty properties, not just homes, but schools, businesses, warehouses, workshops, hospitals, police stations, anything you can think of. The population is falling at such a rate that the countryside is full of abandoned properties, full up of really good stuff. We go scavenging, and you can have the best stuff. Don't be a hoarder. Get rid of the old ones. Keep minimalist, keep it empty. But if you find some nice furniture that you like that's better than what's in your property, we'll bring it back for you. We work together. This community I'm building in Atami, we all work together. And we did scavenging recently. We found some amazing things. It is not wrong to go scavenging abandoned things. If the last owner has abandoned something, they have relinquished ownership of it. I know it sounds a bit odd, hard to get your head around, but if the last owner has deceased and the family have chosen not to inherit it, you are not wrong to take it. It has been abandoned. And if you just leave it, it will go to rack and ruin. Nature will take over. That is a bad thing for Japan. The government, the local city, the local neighbours like it if you're adding some good to the area. I know many places that were beautiful homes. The last owner died. He was maintaining it, looking after it. He died. The family chose not to inherit it. Within years, I don't know, several years, whatever, you get nature take over, and it now needs a lot of structural issues because it needs a lot of work on it. It's too far gone. I say go for the homes that don't need any structural issues. They've only recently become abandoned and they just need cleaning. A good clean thoroughly. You throw the rubbish away or bury it. You burn what can burn. Keep the good furniture, the good things you want to keep, but keep minimalist. And you can just go there as often as you like. £300 return flight. Maybe you do 90 days a year, or you might want to do a prolonged stay. You might want to do a grey gap year. All these teenagers and young people in their 20s are doing gap years. I'll go and live in Asia for a year or whatever. You can do it at any age. You can do it in your 50s, 60s. You can do it at any age you like. Do a grey gap year. A lot of people I'm speaking to, it's a bit unfortunate, they're doing what's called a grey divorce. It's such a shame. They've been married for a long time, and they're getting divorced, and they want to start again afresh. And okay, they want to go east. We're building an amazing community in a place called Atami. There is an abundance of homes, quite spread out. Some of them are close together, walking distance. Some of them you need a motorcycle or a car. I recommend you get some kind of transport. But again, you don't need it. A bicycle or an e-bike, a scooter, something like that, just to get you to the train station. Atami's train station is an amazing train station. There's a free onsen there. The hot springs, the volcano heats the water. It's free. You can use the onsen for free. But there's some amazing other onsens you pay for that are really incredible places. Anyway, you get to Atami station by bike, scooter, something like that. And you can get a fast train anywhere in Japan. You get to Kobe, you can get down to Osaka, you can get up to Hiroshima, you can go to Nagasaki, you can go up to Hokkaido if you like the snow up in the cold. It's incredible snow this year, skiing. Or you can just get to Tokyo very, very fast. And Tokyo is a brilliant place to live.